Great.
In this video, I'm going to demonstrate the binaural striking and placement. So if you look at the set that I have the brain tuner set, which gives us a fundamental frequency here, and then I have a beta, alpha, theta, and delta. So with this type of set, the way you would use binaural is you would keep the fundamental, and then the binaural is between the fundamental and the beta, and then the fundamental and the alpha, and then so on. So you're always going to keep the fundamental going with the binaural between this and each individual fork. So now I'm going to demonstrate how to place these tuning forks, and it's pretty much going to be the same sort of thing that you would have done in the monaural, in the 3 forks. Is you're going to grip that first fork here between your thumb and your index finger. Then you're going to take the next fork that you're going to use, and instead of placing it in between the next two, you're going to skip one. So it's almost like you're doing the outer, like you missed one here in the center for the 3 forks. So I have one back here in between the ring finger and the center finger. Notice also that I am taking this ring finger and I'm wrapping it around, and I'm keeping it up against the stem of the tuning fork. So now I have a nice grip, and I'm going to move over like this so that I'm going to strike it. Now, when I strike it, I'm going to make sure that I'm striking it not close to the client's head. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to strike it. Then I'm going to move my hand like this, and I'm going to grab one of the tuning forks like this and move it away. Now I have tuning forks next to both ears. I still have the fundamental in my left hand and the beta in my right hand. Notice that I'm lining those tuning forks up so that the furthest, or the 2 inches, are right here along the tines. So I want to make sure that those are even and that I'm parallel with the ears. Now, how far you keep them from the ears, this might be something that you need to do towards the beginning of your session, especially if you're working with someone that has really sensitive hearing. You might want to do a test and strike both tuning forks and then bring them in slowly and have your client tell you how far away these tuning forks should be in it, where it's an acceptable level. So these tuning forks, the vibration has run out. So now what I'm going to do is swap them. So I'm going to lay that fundamental down. I'm taking that beta and I'm going to put it in the spot where the fundamental was, and stick the fundamental in the other side. Strike them. Grab the fundamental. So now my fundamental here is in the right hand, and all I'm doing is just holding it in a spot. I'm not moving it around anywhere. Once I get my distance, I know I want to maintain that distance. And she is going to feel or hear the vibrations long after you believe or feel that the vibration has run out. So give it a little bit of extra time there, because a lot of times that vibration is still happening at lower levels and you just can't feel them with your fingers. So you want to take your time with this. I want to make sure that I'm not laying these tuning forks down on the pillow, because that will amplify the vibration. I want to make sure that I'm not touching any part of her head or any hair that might be sticking out. So now I've actually finished this particular round. So it was the fundamental and the beta, and I've switched. So now I need that fundamental back. So as I come back over here, I'm laying the fundamental here and the beta there. Now when I pick them back up again, I'm doing the next set, fundamental and alpha. Strike. Grabbing the alpha and putting them next to the ear, letting them run out. And let's say that they run out. Now I'm going to bring them back over. And of course they're still vibrating for me, so I'm just going to dampen them. Now I need to switch this over, so I'm laying that fundamental down. I have my alpha, and my fundamental now is right here, and that's going to be in my right hand on this So fundamentals in my right hand. This is probably done better, performed better from a standing position, although you can, if you need to, sit down in this location. All right, so that was the second strike using the alpha. So if I reviewed here, I want to make sure that my fundamental comes back over here, and then I lay my alpha down. So you want to make sure that that last time you bring that fundamental back over, because if you're lowering your light level here, it's going to be very difficult to tell where these tuning forks are. So get in that same rhythm. Maybe you can set your fundamental up here, and then you have your tuning forks over here. And it might also be good to take those forks that you've already used and maybe set them in a location so you know which ones you still have left, which one's the fundamental, and just use that same process of bringing that fundamental over, laying it somewhere. That way you don't have to see the names of the tuning forks. You just have a very distinct pattern as you go through with the binaural.